Hey everyone, I'm Tom and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing one of my favorite book tags to do here every year on BookTube, and that is the end of the year book tag, which is a nice transition into the end of the year, not a tag about the end of the year. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start out with the first question, which is a book or series that I have started but need to finish. So for me, I don't DNF books. I don't like put books down individually when I start one. I just plow through until I am done. So I don't have any individual books. I will quickly mention a couple series. So obviously Sun Eater. I'm going to the Sun Eater Gala for the last book, Shadows Upon Time. That is in November. So I need to hurry up and catch up with those books, which seems more daunting as the days go by. I'm more behind than I would like to be for that. I would like to finish the Empire of Salt trilogy. There's 2 books left in that, but they're much shorter. So my hope is maybe once Sun Eater's done, I can do that. And yeah, those are like really the 2 that I can think of that kind of fit in for this question. But those are series, not individual books. I haven't put anything down that I need to pick back up because that's just not really what I do. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And the answer is no. I'm not really like somebody who gets into the season reading kind of thing. Like the only thing I do that I think kind of is close to this is for Christmas, I do read A Christmas Carol every year. It's the only book I ever reread, the only thing I ever do anything like that for it. I guess you could say I'm reading some Stephen King here in October for horror stuff, but I'm not even reading Stephen King horror. I'm reading The Body and Shawshank Redemption, which, maybe Shawshank you could maybe say, you could say there's horror elements maybe to both of them, but they're not one of his like horror books. So yeah, I don't really get into like a season mood or anything like that. And especially this year with, I'm just kind of mainlining Sun Eater at this point. I'll probably say that 300 times in this video, but that is kind of what is going on there. And then the next question is new releases that I am waiting for. So yes, I do actually have a couple, and I think one is technically out already, but obviously Shadows Upon Time, not even caught up, but I'm very much excited for it from what I've read from Sun Eater to get to that. Also, we have Empire of the Dawn, the last book in the Empire of the Vampire trilogy. I don't know if that series has like an actual name to it or not, but that's what I always refer to it as. That's from Jay Kristoff. It's probably, I mean, unless this book bombs, it's probably a top 10 series all time for me. At some point, I will make that list of books or a series because I think that would be a fun one to do for myself and just to talk about. But yeah, super excited for that. I think that trilogy has so much to offer. If you've not read it, it's definitely one that you should pick up because you have enough time. Like I think it also comes out, is it November also? November is a packed month for sure. And then the other one is, and this is the one that I think is already out, and that is The Secrets of Secrets by Dan Brown. This is part of like the Robin Langdon series from Dan Brown. So that's like The Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, The Lost Symbol, Inferno, and maybe one other one. I've read them all except for this newest one. I'm pretty sure it's out because I've seen it in stores. So actually, I do know that it is out, but I'm going to count that for a new release that I have been waiting for. Very excited to do. Once again, got pushed for Sun Eater. I just need to read faster, apparently. But those are the 3 that I can think of. Maybe there's something else. I know a lot of people are probably excited for the follow-up to The Will of the Many, The Strength of the Few, I think, but I haven't read the first one in that, so I don't know. And I don't know. I've never heard somebody talk about it and sell it to me to a point where I want to pick up that series. So if you have a good pitch for The Will of the Many, definitely let me know. I know so many people love it, so I'm sure somebody will have a good one, but it's just never something that has spoke to me yet. So maybe here in the comments of this video. Next up is books you want to read before the end of the year. I always have so many for this one. So obviously all of those new releases that I just mentioned, those are givens, that ones that I want to read. Obviously the Sun Eater books that I haven't read yet. I would really like to finish at least this book from Jenny Wirtz. This is Grand Conspiracy, book 5 in the Wars of Light and Shadow series, and maybe even like start getting into another one. And then I'm really hesitant to say this next one because I feel like it's been such a long time since I've gotten back to this series. But somebody asked me in the comments a couple videos ago of if I'm planning on returning to Malazan anytime this year. And I think actually the answer is going to be yes. I think that might be a December read. I normally don't read a whole lot in December, so I think maybe dedicating a month to the 5th Malazan book, which I don't even actually know the name of it off the top of my head, but I think it's time. I'm starting to get that itch a little bit to get pulled back into it, which I think I've had a long enough gap after my experience with House of Chains to come back and see what's going on there. I'm getting that pull for this big epic, fantasy. Not that this isn't, because this also fits perfectly into that, but Malazan's different than this, and I think I'm ready to do that. So those are a few other things, and obviously some of the other stuff that I mentioned earlier. But those are some books that I definitely want to read before the end of the year. We'll see if it happens. All of this is very fickle. And then let's see. Next question is there any book that could shock me and still be my favorite for the year? I think the next Malazan book would be the only one that would shock me. I think all the other books that I have mentioned so far in this video are ones that maybe some would be more surprising than others, but like I think could possibly be new favorites, especially a lot of the Sun Eater stuff. I have, high expectations for, so I wouldn't really be surprised if any of those are. I mean, I guess I would maybe be surprised if the Dan Brown was like my favorite book of the year. But I think the biggest shock would be a Malazan book coming in at the end of the year and becoming my favorite book of the year. Like that would be very unexpected. If you have followed my Malazan journey, it's been very like up and down. There are parts of it that I really, really like, parts of it I don't connect with as much. And so if a Malazan book could come in and steal it at the final hour, that would shock me more than anything else. And then the last question here is, have I started making reading plans for 2026? And the answer is no, not really. I think one thing I would like to do is close out the two big series that I'm currently in. So that would be finishing the Wars of Light and Shadow series, which I, it just depends because I physically read it. So it's just, so much slower for me to do, but I would love to finish it. I wanted to be so much further into it this year than I am already. So, there's that big read along that Talking Story and BellTube are doing that, could maybe help me move along and, want to be more caught up with that because it is a series that I really like and would like to finish. And then also just kind of with that also Malazan, I would really like to maybe knock that off next year. And I think if I can read one in December and it kind of gets that momentum going, like if I actually enjoy it the way I want to, that could definitely be something that I want to go into. Obviously next year there's like loose things that I kind of like, there's some comics that I know I want to read and everything that I think may actually even get done this year, but like if not, definitely in 2026. So not anything too crazy yet planned out. Normally I do try to pick a new long series to get into. I'm maybe considering Tad Williams' series, or maybe even finally jumping into some of Robin Hobb, because Robin Hobb, I could do like the individual components of her overall realm of the Elderling stuff. And then even Tad Williams, it's not, I mean, it's long, but I don't know, it's like there's a good stopping point after the original trilogy into his new stuff. So I don't know, those may be just some things that I have thought about a little bit, but not too much. So that is the end of the year book tag. Definitely answer any of these questions down in the comments below. Hit me up on the Discord, any of that stuff. But that's all for me. And remember, read what you want when you want.